Welcome to the Rundown. My name is Ryan.
My name is Ray.
Ray, the NBA playoffs are, I feel, officially upon us. I know we had playing games, but this feels like the real deal. And I'm excited. Very excited for this.
You have good cause to be excited.
I
Celtics
do.
are off to a great start, which I'm not surprised by, even in the
No.
slightest.
That was a really great game. And by great game, I mean a complete ass whooping. And I'm totally here for it.
It's nice to have stress-free basketball in the playoffs, and you really don't see that often this time of year. The teams are too good. The games are too closely played. So you sneak in a blowout there, definitely good to take advantage of that. And you said that you were hoping that the Celtics coast through the East. Well, if they're going to do that, I think, what was it, Sunday? That was a great start. Great start to it.
Great start. Phenomenal. Tatum playing great. Brown playing great. Easy win. Not saying they're all going to be like that, but, the 76ers.
I think against the Sixers, I think most of your games will look similar. Most of your games will definitely look similar against the Celtics. Joel Embiid, his status is still up in the air. He missed game 1. He had appendicitis, so he had an appendectomy last week, and he is still, I don't know, on the shelf from that, I guess. So
I don't think
every game played without him is a game closer to the Sixers season ending.
Well, good for me.
Even with
sad
him, let's be real.
Philly,
Even with him,
yeah.
Are we really going to be sad for Philly on this podcast? I don't think so.
I mean, I think we can be kind of sad for Philly. I don't hate all of their sports teams. I don't like.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't hate the Celtics,
general,
even though I hate Boston. Like, I'm a Yankees fan, so there's a lot of hate
you hate
for the Red Sox. But it doesn't really bleed. And I get a lot of shit for this in the group chat, by the way. Apparently, I love Boston because I hate the Red Sox, but don't hate any other Boston team. I don't have beef with any other Boston team. That's just how it is.
Actually, when I joined the group chat, there was surprise that you were friends with me because I did root for Boston teams. And you were like, well, that's not the Red Sox.
And you hate
so
Jokic,
she's okay.
which is not a good, and you hate Jokic. It's not a good combination for that group chat we're in.
Admittedly, on Saturday.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I found myself.
Let's talk about it.
Cheering for Denver, applauding
it's
good
easy
plays,
to do.
and applauding it and then stopping myself because I couldn't believe what I was doing. But I was.
You were applauding good basketball, Ryan, and
I really was
extremely proud of you.
Well, I'm not proud of myself.
You see how naturally
just
like
that's...
embracing good basketball, like it just comes so naturally that you see it displayed in front of you and you have no choice but to embrace it. And that is what watching the Denver Nuggets and watching Nikola Jokic will do to you. I will know because I used to not give a flying fuck about Denver or Jokic before he was at this level. And then you just watch games and you just got to appreciate the talent level that you're seeing in front of you. And they've been like this for years, going back to the championship that they won in 23. Just been a well-oiled machine for a lot of years now. And when they're on, they look great, like they did game 1. And when they stumble a little bit, they can let things happen like last night, in which they let the Wolves steal a game from them. Now, am I surprised by that? No. I think I kind of expected a split for those first 2 games.
Series was going to be as easy as some of the other ones, but I think they lost because I didn't watch the game. So I was finally cheering for them and they won. And
I don't believe in a lot of juju, but I believe in that. I believe that you watching the game actually makes a difference. Yes.
So now I have to listen. And I'm not overly... Okay, I'm going to say this. I think Denver playing the Spurs, OKC, that's going to be a more exciting game than Minnesota playing either of those teams. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm rooting for good basketball. Right. So I will allow myself the grace to enjoy the Nuggets for what they bring to the game.
No, I do think them against OKC or them against the Spurs will make just for a better series all around, because I think the Spurs and OKC just have a better all around team than Minnesota does. Minnesota's very Anthony Edwards centric.
Mm-hmm.
He is a majority of their offense. They don't really have a go-to outside of him, which I think puts a lot of pressure on him to do well in this entire series, especially against a championship caliber team like Denver, right? But then when you look at the way OKC and the Spurs are constructed, their teams are just so good, which is why they finished as the top 2 teams in the West. And we'll give Denver their credit because they finished 3rd in the West. But I just think the West playoffs just generally are going to be fantastic. We had some series like OKC against Phoenix. That's going to be a blowout. And what did we talk about last week, Ryan? So Steph ended up winning that very first play-in game, which was against the Clippers. Yep, he showed out. I believe he had 34 points, 35 points. So he showed out in that game. And I said I did not want him to win that second game because I did not want to see OKC in the first round ceremoniously dismiss him and embarrass him on national television for 4 to 5 games. And that's what we're going to see them do to the Suns. The first game wasn't close at all. And did you see, like, SGA's stat line wasn't impressive at all, Ryan?
No.
He had 25 points on 15 free throws. He shot terribly from the field, and they won comfortably by 30. The game was never in question. That series is going to be a sweep.
I think that series mirrors Celtics 76ers. Like, these are 2 teams that I think are fully in control of these series. Will the other team get one? I don't know. That's a big maybe, if I'm being honest. We'll have to see. Anytime you go home to, you have that advantage. So we'll have to see. But I don't think the Suns are going to give them any problems at all. Just like I don't think the 76ers are really going to be a problem for the Celtics. So, but I tell you, I was surprised. I know KD was out, but LeBron came in very strong for the Lakers. Very strong. KD being out, though, was a big help. Let's be cards on the table honest with that. That was very helpful for the Lakers.
I saw a bunch of conspiracy theories that the league orchestrated Kevin Durant's absence from game 1 to give LeBron a shot to advance to the next round. Some of the things I hear on social media... Some of the stuff I hear on social media is just like, who thought of this?
That one's silly. I definitely believe in other conspiracy theories when it comes to sports, but that one I think is tough for me to get down with, for sure.
And I mean, if anything, that only helps Kevin Durant's case, because if Kevin Durant comes back healthy from game 2 onward and leads the Rockets back to win this series, then I think that says more about his impact on the Rockets than it would about LeBron's on the Lakers. So, I mean, that series still has to be played out. LeBron actually, he didn't even score a ton in that game. I know he dished out a bunch of assists. He didn't score a ton in that game, but I mean, the Lakers, they looked good. LeBron, even at 41 years old, can still be the best, which is just crazy to say this, but he still can be the best player on the floor any given night. He can. But in this series, he has to be the best player on the floor every single game if the Lakers have any shot of advancing, given Kevin Durant's health, right? Assuming Kevin Durant is healthy for the remainder of the series, LeBron has to be the best player on the floor. And at 41, I don't know if he can do that for 5 or 6 more games consecutively. But would it surprise me? We've seen too much from LeBron throughout his career to at this point. I mean, nothing would shock me, but I'm not going against the Rockets just yet. I expect Kevin Durant to come back and look, some version of himself. And they still have Sengun. They still have Amin Thompson, who's a great defender. They still have a pretty good team. I think they have enough still to get past the Lakers. I'm not too concerned. It's just one game. And one thing I actually forgot about that series until I sat down and watched a few of the highlights. The Lakers are the home team in that series. I forgot they finished as a higher seed than the Rockets did. So they still have one more game at home. I believe they play tonight, and then they're on to Houston. But let's see. Kevin Durant should be back, and we'll see how the rest of that series plays out.
I will say, though, that I was absolutely fucking delighted to watch the Knicks lose last night. I think I get too excited about this. I need to really start checking myself about my level of excitement when the Knicks lose. But
there's no such thing.
I was totally into it. And I really need people to stop referring to CJ McCollum as the villain of New York. He's not the villain, okay? You want to know who your villain is? Did you see his comments? It's fucking Karl Anthony Towns. That's who it fucking is.
Oof. Talk about it.
He's got that Jekyll and Hyde shit where he can be really, really good, best person on the floor, or just the hottest mess you've ever seen. So
Karl Anthony Towns actually didn't have Okay, so he didn't have a bad game, right? He
No.
didn't have a bad game against the Hawks in game 2. But here's the thing. It's the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford to have an ordinary game in the playoffs
No.
unless Jalen Brunson just has a spectacular game. And outside of the first quarter from game 1,
Mm-hmm.
where Jalen Brunson, he either missed one shot or didn't miss any shots from the field in game 1 and had about 18 or 19 points in that first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Since that first quarter, he has not played well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Karl Anthony Towns in game 2, and he put up 12 shots. 12 shots. So, like, we need you to be aggressive. I think in order for the Knicks to be successful in these playoffs, you need Karl Anthony Town attempting 18, 19, 20 shots
But
alongside Jalen Brunson attempting the same amount of shots. And this goes back to really my critique of Karl Anthony Towns all year. The inconsistencies with him really come down to his aggression and how badly he goes after it, or in most cases doesn't go after it. I don't need to see you only shooting 12 shots. You shoot 8 of 12. You're having a good game. You shot great from the field. Why are you not attempting more shots? The Knicks need more out of you. And he ghosted in that fourth quarter. Him and Jalen Brunson. I'm not going to let Jalen Brunson off the hook of this either, because he also was nowhere to be found in that fourth quarter during that collapse. A fourth quarter in which they led by 14 points at one point, mind you.
Here's my question about Karl Anthony Towns. His inconsistency is a conversation it feels like everybody has every year. So where is the line for this? Because you're not, in my mind, a great player if you can't be consistent. Like, there's no... If you had, like, if I was choosing teams, he would be one of the last people, or choosing players, he would be one of the last people I picked. Because you're inconsistent. I can't trust you on the court. So how long are we going to have this conversation?
Yeah, you can get away with some of that in the regular season, but it's too magnified this time of year. So when we look at you and you're attempting 12 shots from the field, I think he had about 18 points. I'm sorry, that's not going to get it done. And it's especially not going to get it done, firstly, against an Atlanta Hawk team that we talked about. This team is sneaky good, and they have been very good post All-Star break. And did you? So you watched like most of that game, right, Ryan? It's like they're a fun team to watch, and I think part of that reason is because they don't have now. Let's give CJ McCollum some flowers, because CJ was balling. Okay, first of all, he put some moves on Jalen Brunson that I haven't seen CJ move. CJ's been in the league a long time. I haven't seen CJ move like that in a long time, since he was in Portland. So he was putting the moves on the Knicks in that fourth quarter. And it's good that they do have, like, he is capable of giving them a game like that. I believe he ended up with 32 points, but that's not CJ really on a nightly basis. So it's good that he stepped up when he had to yesterday, but they don't have that bona fide star that they can always give the ball to and say, get out of the way, I need a basket. But CJ turned into that guy last night, and I mean, he just took that fourth quarter over. That was something special to watch. And they did try to label him the villain afterwards.
And he was like, I'm not having any of that. What are you talking
I got a wife.
about? I'm
he
just
said
here
I
to
got
play.
kids.
I will say that Atlanta team came to play. They were not going to go down easy. They, and quite frankly, I really think if they had better ball handling, less sloppiness in the first game, they could have won that first game. That was not a runaway for New York. I think if they had played better ball, had kept more in control. And I mean, I think, constantly the refrain, during the games is how young this team is. Outside of CJ, this is a very young team. So a lot of that just comes with experience. And, I think this is definitely a team to continue to watch, because I definitely think that this is, I personally, I've said it last week, say it again. Knicks aren't going to win. I truly believe the Atlanta Hawks are going to take them down. And I've never been so excited for something ever. I mean, I'll eat crow if I need to, but I firmly believe this to be true.
Yeah. So, I still think the Knicks win this series. I just think they just have a better team than the Hawks. I do think the Hawks are a little bit too young. So I think the Knicks move on, but I do think that this was a big wake-up call for them.
For sure.
I think they realize they can't rest on their laurels. They can't expect Jalen Brunson to be the hero every game. And let's just talk about a little bit of the controversy on that very final play of the game. So apparently on the ticker on the score bug on television, it
Mhm.
showed that that the Knicks had one more timeout when CJ missed both of the free throws that
Oh
would have
god,
put
that
them
was
up
horrible.
3. First of all, that
Mhm.
wasn't a good moment for him. He
No.
definitely lucked out.
I was definitely listening to commentary. They were like, "He's 5 for 5." And I'm like, "He's not gonna be after this." I was like, immediately, no.
I
Immediately
didn't
he's
expect him
missing
to miss
these.
both. Once he missed the first one, I thought he was
No.
gonna make the second one. I didn't expect him
I
to miss
knew
both.
in my soul he was
But
not making
there
either
was
of
an
those.
error on the score bug, I guess, that showed that the Knicks had a timeout. So a lot of the chatter on social media afterwards was, after they got the rebound, why didn't they call their final timeout so they could call a play and get a better shot than the one that they got? But apparently that was an error on the score bug, that the
Mm,
Knicks did not actually have a timeout.
interesting.
So very interesting. But you know what? If I'm the Knicks there, if I have a timeout, I don't think I use it. And the reason is
Mhm.
because you call a timeout, then Atlanta's has a chance to set their defense. And
Mhm.
Atlanta's defense is pretty good. They got a lot of tall, athletic, lanky players. So you don't really want to get in a half court set against that defense. And
Mhm.
pushing the ball as quickly up the court as they did, Atlanta didn't have a chance to set up. So I'm not mad at the non timeout call, assuming they did have one. Like I said, it turns out that they did not. But what I'm not happy about is, when Mikal Bridges taking that shot right there. And I
No.
understand it was only 4 or 5 seconds left in the game. You have to make a decision quick there. But the quick decision you make is you get the ball in Jalen Brunson's hand. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care how
Yeah.
bad he was all game. I don't care if he was having an 0 for all game. In clutch moments, Jalen Brunson has shown time and time again that he is a clutch player. So the
Mhm.
ball
Mhm.
somehow, some way needs to find his hands there. I did not like Mikal Bridges taking that final shot.
I didn't like that either. But I'm gonna say this about the Knicks. Robinson, very solid, but
The big
sir,
fella,
yes, please fix your fucking free
it
throw
ain't happening.
percentage.
No,
It is
no.
so pathetic. 39% in the playoffs?
I saw those numbers.
That's
I saw
insane.
those. Isn't that crazy? Which is like, I
You
think it
have
was lower
one
than his
job.
regular season percentage.
His regular season, I think, was only like 50 something, wasn't it? It was like,
Right.
it's
Yeah, that sounds
so,
right. That sounds right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, you are a professional basketball player. What are we
But what I've
doing in
seen
the
for
off season to not improve on this?
But what
Insane.
so this is what he does, because I've seen this from him in the playoffs previously. So he'll have a game where the other team will go Hacker Robinson. They'll intentionally put him at the free throw line. He'll have a terrible free throw shooting performance. And then
Mhm.
in between games, you can tell he'll go into the lab and he'll change something, right? So he'll tweak something in his free throws. And in the next game, when they attempt to do the Hacker Robinson, he always does like a lot better. So I'm like, whatever it is that you do in between these games after you have a bad performance, why don't we just apply that to the offseason and do it all fucking season
I
long?
can't,
Why does it
I
take the
don't
playoffs
understand.
until you're under a microscope to make these changes and realize all of a sudden, God damn, I better hit these damn free throws? Because guess
Yeah.
what? If Mitchell Robinson hits some free throws in that fourth quarter, the Knicks win that game. I mean, for a
Yes.
multitude of reasons, the Knicks could have won that game, but that is just one of them.
Yeah, I agree. And then here's the other thing I want to say about the NBA playoffs in general, and perhaps about the NBA as a whole. This is going to be a mini trash cans from me. For the love of God,
Love it.
stop falling all over your fucking selves. This is not a Broadway production. You are a professional athlete. Can you man it up for 2 fucking seconds and take the hit? Listen, and I'm not saying Jalen Brunson getting kicked in the balls, like, fair. I mean, I don't personally know what that's like. I hear it's not great, so totally understand. But on
Pretty
the
terrible.
whole, it's like you can be grazed by an elbow and it's like you got shot in the face. Can you just take the hit? This is the only sport this happens in. Granted, none of you are wearing helmets, but still, can you just get it
It's so
together?
bad now. We
It's
talked about
so
this the other night.
awful.
It's so bad now, Ryan, that we all know the famous LeBron falling to the ground, covering his face, and then doing the quick peek. behind his fingers to see
Yeah.
if anybody was observing. So somebody went down, and I can't remember what player it was, but somebody went down the exact same way. Their hands were covering their face, and it might have been Donovan Mitchell, and I just expected him to peek through his fingers because it's just all bullshit to me now. It's so hard for me to take players like falling down or like getting hurt. I mean, you can tell when it's a significant injury.
Sure.
Some of these plays you see live and they end up on the ground, and it's just like, my brother, you didn't get hit that hard.
Get up.
You know, you're in 4K. We can see you. We can see
You
how hard
look like
you
a
got hit or
pansy.
didn't get hit.
It's so bad. And it doesn't happen like, first off, watching somebody attempt to flop in the NFL is the funniest thing you'll ever see because there's no way you can make it.
No,
barely.
It's like,
every once in a while. And usually it's like some lineman or something. So like it's obvious that it's not.
Maybe like a push in the back to make the referee like blow the whistle a little bit.
None of it is real. And it's rarely like called on like as like a foul or something like that because it just doesn't, none of it looks realistic. And the commentators will like laugh at them because it's just so ridiculous. But in basketball, this is ridiculous. Just become...
maybe we need to petition these broadcasters in basketball to do the same thing.
Please
just start
laughing
shaming
at these people.
Players.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring back shame
absolutely.
in the NBA and do it because I gotta tell you, I'm watching. Sometimes I love watching compilations where it's like hockey versus basketball, and you're just watching. And hockey, granted, is a very different sport, but you're just watching people kill each other like on the ice, and they get up. They're losing teeth. They don't care. They keep going.
Yeah, brush it off. Act like nothing happened.
If an NBA player
NBA
lost
players could learn
tooth,
a thing or two.
It would be the hospital. Like it would be so dire. And it's just like, get up, keep playing. This is your sport. I don't know. I just feel.
I don't think anything could make me hate the NBA, but I definitely see just a huge difference in just like how soft these fucking players are nowadays.
They're so soft.
It's one of the most annoying things, and one of my biggest gripes this year. And it's been definitely a huge problem the last few years, but just this year with the load management and the resting and the inability to play in back-to-back games. What the fuck are we crying about? You get paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to just go out there and play a game for 2.5 hours. You're not even on the court for the entire 2.5 that the game's being broadcasted. Let's be real. Okay, you're on the court for 30 to 40 minutes, and you do it one night, and you can't do it the second night when we're paying you $30 million a year. It really fucking pisses me off. It really makes me mad, and I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing it. It makes no sense. And the fans that go to see you, it might be a kid's only time that they can come out and see you, and you're sitting because you don't want to play 2 nights in a row. Come on, grow a fucking pair. It really makes me mad. That's my mini trash cans for the day.
You forgive LeBron for that just because he's old? Like, are we like? I mean,
LeBron's
okay with
50, so we're gonna make exceptions for him. Yes. We'll make exceptions for Bron. Yes, exceptions can be made, but I'm talking our 25, 26-year-old superstars that we're doing this for, and it's just come on, man.
Yeah, well, shorter season. That's my way to solve
that problem.
I know
you've been pining for this shorter season. You have
just. Pining away
for it.
No
secret that Ryan wants a shorter season.
I do.
Less games.
It's just so much. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for this to continue. Very stoked to see what happens next. So I'm actually interested to see if the Cavs can move forward. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're up 2-0 in their series against the Raptors. And the Raptors haven't exactly gotten blown out in that series, but I mean, it also they haven't been nail biters. They haven't been exactly close. I expect that series to maybe go 5, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland went into Toronto and won the next 2 games, to be honest. Brandon Ingram has looked terrible. I would say outside of Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram should be their number 1 option, or him and Scotty Barnes are 1A and 1B, and Brandon Ingram has just looked awful. I don't know what Glorilla's over there doing to him, but he needs to lock in and maybe look at less of her.
No, we don't need to blame that on her. You're a professional athlete.
Come on,
Get
Big
it together.
Glow.
No.
Big Glow, you got to tell your mans to get back in the gym.
Let her live. This is not her fault. Absolutely not. I refuse
gotta blame
for
somebody.
a woman to be blamed.
I got to blame somebody.
Blame
him. He hasn't looked good.
That's who you blame. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't expect that series to go too far. But I think the big shocker over the weekend, how about the Magic stealing a game from the number 1 seeded Detroit Pistons who have Cade Cunningham back in the lineup healthy?
That should not have happened. Cards on the table. That
No.
should not have happened.
But this is kind of frustrating for me because it just reaffirms what I've been hearing, a lot of the chatter that I've been hearing around social media about how the Pistons are going to be an early exit. They're not a true number 1 seed. They don't have the team to make it far enough to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the finals. I've been hearing a lot of that. And once the Magic sealed that game against them, yeah, that didn't do
It became a
Detroit
lot
any
more real.
favors. Yeah, it just became a lot more real. It became a lot more real to me because I have Detroit getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. I see them and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals together. I mean, the top 2 teams in the East. But yeah, they're gonna have to get it together. And Cade's gonna need some help. If that's gonna be Jalen Duren, however that's gonna look, he's gonna need somebody else to help him out on the offensive side of the ball. Because the Magic, they're a solid team and they could sneakily give the Pistons a lot of issues, I think, for sure.
Well, looks like the Pistons and the Nuggets have their work cut out for them. I think they need to get
They
it together
do.
a little bit more. So we'll have to see what happens there. In other NBA news, Steve Kerr packing it in.
Yep. This
Packing it
end
in.
of an era, Ryan. End of an
Really
era.
is.
How are we feeling about that?
Fine. I'm not really a I'm not really a Warriors fan, so that doesn't necessarily bother me. I like Steve Kerr. He did a lot for the Bulls. So no complaints about that. But I mean, good. Let him go live his life however he wants to do it. I can't imagine the stress you're under being a coach of a professional team. That seems exhausting. So I hope whatever he does next, he just relaxes and gets to live his best life. I wish, though, if I'm being honest, that he would have, like him, Steph, and Draymond would have packed it in together. You know, like that would have been like the send
I
off
think
era
so
for the
too.
team.
I
But
think so
because,
too.
I mean, has Steph played for anyone but Curry? Kerr?
Kerr, yes, he has. So before Steve Kerr, there was Mark Jackson. I don't know if you remember the Mark
Mm-mm.
Jackson Warriors, but a lot of people, especially initially, attributed because here's how it happened. Almost immediately after the Warriors dismissed Mark Jackson, which was a big controversy at the time because the Warriors were a good team. They had won 50 games right before dismissing Mark Jackson, but I think management thought that Mark Jackson didn't have what it took to get them over that hump and get them to that
Mm-hmm.
next level. And
Mm-hmm.
then Steve Kerr stepped in and did exactly that. But to a lot of the critics who were upset that Mark Jackson got fired in the way that he did, it was, oh, well, he laid the foundation for that team. Steve Kerr just
Mm.
came in and basically, just got together what Mark Jackson already had fostered before Steve Kerr walked into the building. Now, I don't agree with that because I
Yeah.
think that if the Warriors were going to be a championship team, they would have done that with Mark Jackson. You don't become that the
Mm-hmm.
second that
Yeah.
one coach walks out the door and then another one enters. And I think Steve Kerr did a good job of unlocking exactly what Steph and Clay and Draymond
Mm-hmm.
could
Mm-hmm.
do as a trio. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
he really transformed that team into like what we see the rest of the league is now. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way we see 3-point shooting and just how prolific it's become, like I will give the Phoenix Suns back with Steve Nash in the early 2000s, the early aughts.
Thank you for naming it correctly. Appreciate you.
That team, I mean, that was a run and gun team, shot a lot of threes, but I think Steve Kerr really mastered that. Really took
Mm.
what Mike D'Antoni did in Phoenix during the mid 2000s and really just turned it into something different with Steph and the boys.
Mm-hmm.
So, kudos to him. He goes out as a coach, a 4-time champion with the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I'd argue that they don't get those championships with a different head coach running a
Yeah, I
different
don't
system.
disagree
So
with that. Yeah.
it does make me sad that they couldn't see this through until the end of all their careers. But I'm interested, I think, at this point in Steph's career to see what he's going to look like with a different coach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I think it was time. I think it was time for a new system for Steve Kerr. I think they need a
Mhm.
new voice in that locker room too. I think
Mhm.
he, especially with the whole Jonathan Kuminga thing,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he may have lost some people there. There's been a lot of drama in the Warriors. I mean, not even just this year or the last few seasons, but we go back to Kevin Durant coming to the Warriors and then the way he left with him and
Mhm.
Draymond having a lot of friction. And
Yeah.
then post Kevin Durant, you had Jordan Poole and the Draymond Green incident, Draymond like punching Jordan Poole in the face. There's been a lot of stories, a lot of drama that Steve Kerr has had to deal with. And I think he's done a pretty good job. I mean, 4 championships.
Mhm.
So kudos to him. He gets to ride off in the sunset. And now we'll see what Steph Curry looks like with a different coach
Yeah.
for the last
It'll
few
be
years of his
interesting to
career.
see
And he
what
did
happens with
say,
that.
Steph did say, he was asked the other day, he said, yes, I have at least a couple more seasons in him. He answered that pretty
Oh,
certainly. So
that's
that makes me
nice.
happy.
I always like when
Yeah.
players don't wait it out. So
Right? When they
this
give
makes
us
me
a
happy.
clear answer as to their
Mhm.
plans for the future, unlike
Yep.
LeBron, who may or may not still retire at the end of this year. So who knows?
Or Aaron Rodgers, who never has his shit together until July. So, yeah, it's nice when they can give a
That's
succinct
right.
statement. Moving on to the NFL, draft week, baby.
Perfect segue.
Perfect.
It is draft week. It's draft week.
Draft week.
How we feeling?
I'm
What
feeling
do the
okay.
Packers
I'm not.
need?
Ooh. We need some defense. We need we need some help in
Okay.
the secondary for sure.
Even after the deal for Micah Parsons?
Well,
last season?
Micah's only one man. We need some
This is
help in
true.
the secondary for sure. I wouldn't mind tweaking the offensive line a little bit. I also wouldn't be mad if you drafted a new fucking kicker because I can't stand the one we currently have. So, but I think the struggle for the Packers is we have no pick in the first round because we
Wow,
gave
I
that up
didn't
to
know that.
Dallas. Well, that was part of the
Oh, and the
Parsons
Micah
deal.
Parsons deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, am I
And
happy
fair
to have
enough.
Micah Parsons?
I'm actually not mad
Yeah.
at that.
I'm not
I'm actually
either,
not mad
but
at
it
that.
does. I don't want to say
Set you back a
limit.
little bit.
It changes the
Yeah.
game. I think
Yeah.
that's what it does. But I feel confident that we'll draft well. I don't have any reason to believe that we won't, but I do think probably that secondary is definitely an area that we need more in. We may pick up a receiver. I don't really know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think definitely
Who are your
defense for
options?
sure.
Who are your options right now on the receiving end for Green Bay?
Well, Tucker
Who's
Craft when he
Jordan Love
comes
throwing the ball
back.
to?
Golden will be there. Reed probably. But
Okay.
Dobbs is no longer with us and Wicks is no longer with us either. So if I'm being quite honest about the Green Bay receiving core, I feel like you could trade any one of them out and it's fine. None of them were, Dobbs and Wicks.
Hot take.
I don't know how hot that is. I mean, I think that they were fine and they did what they did, but they weren't a Jordy Nelson. They weren't a Donald Driver. They weren't a Devontae Adams. Like, those are the greats that have really played for our team. And nobody is saying they're like Randall Cobb. Like, think about Randall Cobb, who was like a good player, but not, stellar. I loved Jordy Nelson, one of the best white receivers I've ever seen. He was so good. So good. Loved him. Loved Devontae. Do I wish Devontae Adams would come back? Sure, but I think he's pretty settled in LA, so I don't see that happening for us.
And he's not in his prime anymore. I don't like that for you guys.
Not, but he's
I want
still
you guys
good.
I want you guys to get younger.
Well, I think Golden has a lot of potential, so I really hope we really develop him this season because I do think that he can give us a lot of good options. Just really want him to be healthy. So that's what I'm hoping for Green Bay. I think we'll get what we need. I don't think anything will be like this amazing, like, oh my God, find, but I think we'll get what we need. I'm excited about this season. I have a lot of hope that we're going to really start clicking. I think we have pretty much all the pieces. We have all the major pieces. Now we just need the secondary pieces to come in and do what they do, which is to help glue everything together. And then we can move forward. I really do think we could win the Super Bowl in 2027. I really do. So I'm ready. You look less convinced, but that's okay. That's okay.
I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know.
I feel confident.
But the Green Bay Packers, I mean, you have a solid foundation.
Yeah.
To start with, at least. You know what I mean? You got the hardest part out of the way, which is your quarterback. You know that you have a solid quarterback. He was one of the best in the league last year. And it really is just, where do you go from there? He needs people to throw the ball to, I think, that are reliable. And like you said, Micah needs a little bit of help on defense, but I think the Packers are in a good position. Much more well-positioned off than, let's say, like the Browns.
What's happening with the Browns?
What is happening,
What's happening
with
your team? What do you think you need in the draft to help move your team forward?
Everything. What don't we need, Ryan? We need everything. First of all, we can't even decide who our quarterback is going to be, which this is like a much maligned like subject for me. Like, I don't know how many times I'm going to complain about this, but
we've talked about it several times.
Just fucking agree that Shador should be your starter. And I get it. Like, you have Deshaun Watson still on your payroll. I understand you can't just eat his money. It's too much money. But guess fucking what? You paid him. You paid him that amount. You're like, you're shooting yourself in the foot now for the 2026 season because you decided to give him one of the worst contracts in NFL history. Like, let's just be real. And now because of that, you don't want to commit to your young, talented quarterback in Shador Sanders because you know you still have this, aging. And even when he was on the field before he got hurt the last time, Ryan, he just wasn't fucking good. He wasn't.
No.
He didn't look good. He didn't look like this Deshaun Watson that they decided to pay at all. So,
and I
don't know.
even
and
think
I'm hearing that they may want to even like select quarterbacks in the draft, and it's just too much. It's just too much.
Listen, I think Deshaun Watson was a mistake when they took him. He had all of that off-season shit that he was pulling that was terrible. He should have never been paid what he was paid. He wasn't even worth what he was being paid. Terrible, terrible decision. And now, there are all these rumors of, Myles Garrett getting traded. And like, are those valid rumors?
I'll cry,
I don't know.
Ryan.
They pay him a lot of money, so I don't know.
They just signed him. If you were gonna trade him, like, not that they should have let him walk, but like, if you were gonna trade him, this like could have been done already. So now is a team gonna want to trade for him when you just gave him this brand new contract and he's getting paid a ton of money now?
I mean, listen, he's a once in a generation player at that position. Myles Garrett is one of the best.
He is, and you could get a haul back for him. So I understand the thought process. But Ryan, we have such little amount of nice things in Cleveland. Can we at least
don't take it.
keep our star defensive player? It's like when the Cowboys decided to trade like Micah Parsons. It's just like one of those like, what the fuck moments. Like, you're trading this generational defensive player away. And the Cowboys barely, so take this with a grain of salt, are in a better position than Cleveland in terms of their roster construction, right? So they have Dak Prescott, they have CeeDee Lamb, they have options on the offensive end. So, they could afford to give away Micah because then when they get into games, it becomes a shootout because their offense is really good. So it becomes an offensive shootout. Maybe our defense can't stop you, but guess what? We can put up points to score along with you so that it's a coin flip for who gets the ball at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, and maybe that team will win. Cleveland doesn't have that luxury.
No, they really
don't have that luxury on the offensive end to get rid of our best defensive player. Defense is about the only thing that we can rest on at the moment because our offense is so fucking shitty. So when you ask me what we need, first and foremost, we don't need a quarterback. We have that in Shador Sanders. Can you give him somebody to throw the ball to on the offensive side of the ball, please? Can you get people to block for him? Maybe. So that he's not scrambling constantly. Yeah, maybe an offensive line would be nice. Yeah. Maybe some guys there. But I don't have faith. I don't have faith in this Browns team to even draft correctly. You know why? Because it took them 5 rounds to even think about drafting Shador Sanders last year. So this offseason has not been much better for me than the regular season was, Ryan.
Well, we'll have to see what they come up with. I will say about the Dallas trade with Micah Parsons, I think this season we're really going to find out what that was worth because they have higher picks. Let's see how you draft. I'm still believe in my soul that Dallas is not going to go anywhere fantastic, although they just gave their kicker, Brandon Aubrey, the highest contract a kicker has ever received, 4 years, $28 million, which I think if you think about other players, that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a kicker. That's a
Pay
lot
$7
for a
million
kicker.
to kick the ball. Hey.
And listen, and that kicker,
I mean, I need to
it.
stop skipping leg day in the gym because $7 million to kick a ball? Sign me up.
That kicker is worth it. Not all of them are. Certainly ours isn't, but that kicker, he's worth it. So kudos to him. I will say also in this week, Dexter Lawrence traded from the Giants for a 10th overall pick.
To the Bengals.
Now going to Bengals.
To the Bengals.
I think this was a good trade. I think this was a very good trade.
It's a great trade.
We'll have to see what happens, but, good for them for at least doing something to get that defense in a better position. But,
And I think a good trade for the Giants, too. Dexter Lawrence didn't have a fantastic year last year on the defensive end. So I think they sold, at a pretty good time. He is a still good defensive player. I'm actually pretty excited about the Giants going into the season. I do think Jackson Dart has pretty good potential. I'm very excited for their coaching hire. I think that'll make a world of difference, not just on the field, but just generally in the culture. And just how people view the Giants as an organization in general. And then when Cam Scatterbo comes back, hopefully he's healthy and they can do some things on the offensive end. But
I think if they can keep those two individuals in check and not in concussion protocol every fucking 5 seconds, you're going to see some progress in the Giants for sure, I think. I think that division is going to be more competitive, I think, definitely than it was last year. Last year, it was very clear that the Eagles were just going to take it. They didn't face a lot of competition. I think that looks a little different this year, and it will look even more different if A.J. Brown is indeed traded to the Patriots, like everybody's saying, around June 1st. I think that's when they see that happening because of salary cap issues, but I think that that's a good parting of the ways. I don't see A.J. Brown being happy in Philly if he has to stay for longer.
No.
I think a trade is going to do them both a world of good. We'll see if Drake May can actually throw the ball to somebody, but that remains to be seen.
Let me tell you, though, Diggs and A.J. Brown being the top two receivers for Drake May to throw the ball, that offense, if Drake May can actually play in the playoffs the way he did during the regular season.
He was an MVP, I feel like I shit on
MVP
Drake
candidate in the regular
time.
season. He plays for the Patriots, so I kind of expect that. But he played like an MVP during the regular season. He made it to the Super Bowl. He didn't play his greatest in the road to get there, nor when he actually got there. But you give him those two options on the receiving end, then the Patriots could be very, very dangerous next year. So I do like that for them. And then just to get back to the Bengals quickly, because we didn't really touch on how this is gonna look for them, given the Dexter Lawrence trade. That Joe Burrow has to be saying, "Thank fucking God, you guys are actually doing something to help me out." Now I think the next step is getting him help on the offensive line. That's plagued them for 4 or 5 years now at this point. It's been real bad for them. So defense was the first thing. They even when Joe Burrow drops 30 to 35 points a game, there was still no guarantee that the Bengals were ever going to win those games because their defense couldn't get any stops. So I think this is I think they finally, after 5 or 6 seasons of fans and media saying the same thing, I think the Bengals finally got it. We need help on the defensive end.
Let's hope so.
So let's see where they go from here.
Oh, I'm interested to see what this season looks like for them. I think constantly signing, offensive linemen, defensive line, the core players that we don't often think about as the sexy players because they're not a receiver. They're not, I can probably name you most of the offensive line for Green Bay, but there are going to be a couple that I'm like, wait, what was that guy's name? I'm not going to retain all of it. Yeah. But I will tell you.
A lot of players on these rosters.
If you have a really strong offensive line, think about what Tom Brady was able to accomplish. Do you think Tom Brady could have done any of that if he had the Bengals O-line? Absolutely not. No. We can talk all day about how great Tom Brady is. I don't want to do that because I don't like him, but we can objectively talk about it. But part of the reason he's as great as he is, part of the reason most of the great quarterbacks are as great as they were was because of that front line, because they had time. They could throw the ball. They didn't have to scramble every 5 seconds. I guarantee you that if we had had a better offensive line with Aaron Rodgers, we would have won more than one Super Bowl. For sure. I don't even think that's a question, So
yeah, and I think when you look at that's a great point, because when you look at I'm thinking back on the 2025 Super Bowl. It was the Eagles and the Chiefs, right? I mean, we all realize how great Patrick Mahomes is, but he looked pretty fucking human in that game. And guess what? It's because he was running for his damn life. His own line was terrible that game.
Yeah.
And part of that was Philadelphia's defense was spectacular all year,
of course.
including
you can't take that away from
Super
them.
Bowl.
Yeah.
But to get a quarterback as good as Patrick Mahomes to look human, I mean, that the O-line or lack thereof in the Chiefs case, I mean, that definitely plays a huge role.
Just look at what he had to deal with last season, for sure. Do you think that he would have had that injury if he would have had a better O-line? The answer to that is no.
I was just about to say, maybe he doesn't get hurt.
Maybe you have to think about that
scenario. Yeah, that's true.
I think a lot of times people don't always think about that they just want their quarterbacks to be mobile and to be able to do all of these crazy things. And yeah, that's great when they can, but that's not what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
That's not.
Right. Ideally, you want your quarterback to be able to stay in the pocket. Right. You want them to be able to stay in the pocket and be able to make a play.
Yeah.
If they're scrambling all the time, that means there's a problem here, guys.
For sure.
That's not how quarterback play is supposed to look, y'all.
No, it's not. Well, speaking of how things are not supposed to look, MLB, the Mets. What
I couldn't wait to
are
get
we
into this.
even doing? What are we doing?
What's
the losing streak now? What are we on?
As of today, 11.
Yeah, 11. 11
as of today. I believe you guys are playing right now. I don't know the score. I got the Yankee game on in the background right now.
To be fair, we are up 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th. So
you guys are playing the Twins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I watched the entirety of a game over the weekend. I believe it was the Sunday game, and the Mets were granted they were only up 1 going into the 9th, and then guess what? I was so many Mets fans beginning of this year. The Mets have had a propensity the last few years to, for whatever reason, they love former Yankee players, and not just we're not talking like they played for the Yankees 5 or 6 years ago. They become free agents, and that off season, the Mets are like, come on over here, which, it kind of started with Soto. Not really. They had done it with a few previous players even before Soto, but Soto was he was the trophy, right? To where everybody kind of started noticing it. So then last off season, it was our closer from last year, Devin Williams, who, if not for Devin Williams, the Yankees probably fucking win the American League East, but Devin Williams blew so many games. And then it was Luke Weaver, right? Our 8th and 9th inning men. They went right over to Citi Field. And they started the season great. I'll give them credit where credit is due. They started the season great. But like everything does in an 11-game losing streak, what can go wrong has gone wrong. And I watched that 9th inning in that Cubs game on Sunday. And Devin Williams, he looked like the 2025 version of Devin Williams for the Yankees. And he blew the game. He blew the game. And you know what's funny is when you're on a losing streak like the Mets are, I mean, not only do Mets fans watch the games expecting it to end in a loss somehow, some way, but other fans do too, right? So I'm watching the game. I'm like, it's 1-0 going into the 9th. There's no way the Mets win this game. There's no way the Mets are going to win this game. And sure enough, they end up losing. But just another brutal loss. You guys haven't won in 2 weeks. Think about that.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks since you last won a baseball game, and that's hard to do. Longest losing streak for the Mets in 22 years.
All this fucking money that you have thrown at people, and this is what's happening, We get Soto back, I think this week. I think Wednesday was what I saw.
I heard as soon as tomorrow.
He's coming back.
I heard as soon as tomorrow, yep.
But
listen, Soto is a superstar, right?
But he's not
Soto
the only person on the field. And we have a lot of things to fix. Yeah.
One person in your lineup should not make such a huge difference to the entirety of the lineup.
Well, maybe he'll
whatever problems the Mets have, Soto is not going to fix by himself.
Well, I just hope he changes like the energy or the juju. Let's get some new juju
And I
in
think he
there,
will.
and.
In fairness to him, I think he definitely will. I think the Mets turn it around once Soto gets back. Now, do I think they turn it around enough to? I think they entered today 7-15, right? So you're 22 games into the season. You still have 140 games left of the year. That's plenty of time to still turn it around. But Ryan, let me ask you something as a Mets fan, okay? And I just need you to be brutally honest with me here.
Yeah.
Do you really think the Mets are going to turn it around to the point where they become a team that you look at and say, this team can challenge the Dodgers for a championship?
No. I don't even need to think about it. See how it just rolled off my tongue? No. 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 There's no part of me that believes that to be true. Because here's the thing. We could snap the losing streak. I don't think it's going to be like this all season, but we can snap it, win a few games in a row, and then we'll just fucking fall apart because that's what's happening.
You're the Mets.
And I just, I see Pete Alonso, I see Brandon Nimmo, and I'm just like, well, good for you
Nimmo's
guys.
killing it.
Okay,
Nimmo's
good for you guys.
Yeah,
I'm so mad about it. I'm so mad.
Now.
I just
I'm going to blame this team more so on David Stearns, though, your GM, because he's the one that went and constructed this roster. And I'm sorry, they're just not good.
You know what, though?
They just
Ray,
don't look good.
Don't do that, because all during the off season, you were like, but Bo Bichette's he's going to be great. He's going to be a great hitter for you. And all of this. No.
I said that?
Yes, you said that. I'm going to have to rewind it back. Okay. That's what I'm going to have to do. A flashback. You were like, oh no, I'm so excited. You've got good hitters.
Mm-hmm.
We have fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking nothing.
But you know what? This is what I do, because I'm real sly, right? So I spend all off season building you up. And then I know what the Mets are going to do, Ryan. I know what it's going to look like at some point in the season. Even if it wasn't early, even wasn't the middle of the season, maybe not late in the season, at some point, the Mets are going to do what they do. And I'll just be here sitting back waiting in the wings. So yeah, Bo Bichette, great sign. And Freddie Peralta, oh yeah, go get him. Yeah, all these new pieces and talent coming in. Yeah, Mets look great. Preseason, you guys look great, and then season starts, and it's just like,
I knew you were lying to me that whole time. I didn't even buy it. You were like, "It's great,
it's not
Ryan,"
really,
and I was like, "No."
So look, okay. In fairness to me, right? So listen to this, right? In fairness to
the liar that I am,
it's not that I lied. It's not that I lied, because Bo Bichette is a great talent. Freddie Peralta are great talents, but it's just for some reason it just doesn't work when it comes to the Mets. And Soto, right? So Soto was great last year. I think he finished top 2 or 3 in MVP voting. So he had a fantastic season. So it's not like he played great for the Yankees and then came to the Mets and shit the bed. That's not what happened. But somehow, some way, even through all that, the Mets still missed the playoffs. And really, that's what I'm talking about. It really doesn't come down to the individual players. Just somehow the Mets always just find a way to get in front of themselves and just fuck it up. I believe the stat was last team to go on an 11-game losing streak and make the playoffs was 1959. I think the stat was. So odds are definitely not stacked in your favor. And I think they said no team has ever lost 12 in a row in a season and gone on to make the playoffs. So the Mets are up 3-0 right now against the Twins tonight. So they're looking to snap that 11 and become the second team in the last nearly 70 years to lose 11 games in the season and make the playoffs. What the Mets do have working in their favor, though, Ryan, is that your division is trash. The Phillies have looked terrible.
Hey, not Sanchez, though. He's been helping me in my fantasy. He's been playing okay.
I like Sanchez. That was a good pickup on your part.
He's doing okay.
I wanted to draft him. Good job. He was really good last year. He's been great this year. But outside of him, the Phillies look bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The Marlins have looked, better than the Marlins have looked in the past, but I'm not really worried about them in the NL East. The Braves. So you're what you have working for you is you're in a terrible division. So you have time to dig yourself out of this hole. But I think as each game progresses, you're going to lose more and more of that time where you can say it's early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So get it together now, right? While you're just 7-15 and you still have a chance to turn things around, get it together now, because The season goes by quick. It's a long season, but it will fly by you sooner than later.
Well, it must be easy sitting where you're sitting, where your team has definitely made an improvement.
Yeah, so I believe last week on the pod, we were on a 5-game losing streak going into the recording of that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And now here, coming off of a weekend, we just swept the Kansas City Royals, who we always abuse. So I'm kind of taking that series with a grain of salt. They showed a crazy stat of like the last like 25 years or so of our record against the Royals, and we demolished them. It's kind of crazy to think. So yeah, we did just sweep them, but the Royals, I believe after we won 3 in a row against them, they had lost 7 in a row. So they've looked terrible. We're playing the Red Sox right now. The Red Sox haven't looked great, but we need a litmus test, I think, against one of the higher caliber teams in the league before I truly feel like that 5-game losing streak is in the past. After that, we split a 4-game set with the Angels. Mike Trout was fucking unbelievable in that series. Him and Judge. When you want to talk about box office, Ryan, in that series, Mike Trout and Aaron Judge just went homer for homer for home. Like that was just an incredible season. Mike Trout's special. When he's healthy, and he's healthy this year, and you can tell, he's one of the top 3 players in baseball, still easily. He's just so much fun to watch. And even while he's killing the Yankees, I just can't sit there and help but shake my head because he's just one of the best to ever do it. So that was a good series. The Yankees split that series, and like I said, they went on to win the next 3 against Kansas City. So they're on the road now. They're in Fenway. They got 3 against them. And then I believe they end up going to Houston afterwards. So should be a pretty good week to see where the Yankees are at. They're up 3-0 right now in the 7th. So same score as the Mets. Look at that. New York team's getting it done tonight.
Sure. Must be nice to be you.
Listen, we know how quickly these things can change from week to week. Like
Yeah.
I was last week. I was rough last week.
You were a little like heartbroken last week. We
were talking
sad.
about the Yankees, and I wasn't smiling like this.
No,
there was no
not.
smile on my face.
No.
So things can change quickly, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can, because there was a funny meme I saw on social media. It was like this guy looking in the mirror and pointing to himself at the beginning of the season. It's like, I will not let my baseball team dictate my mood every day of the season. But yes, I will. Yes, I will.
I will. Full on. It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at The Rundown. We'll see you guys next week.
Holla.